program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
We are sitting up on the clearings on this cold winter's morning, watching some impala moving around, trying to stay warm, and this is Safari Live.
Ready. Standing by.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You are live, you are live.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Safari Live, a chilly Safari Live this morning. My name is Byron, and on camera with me this morning is Fergus. Morning, Fergus. You may have seen Ellie already and Sebastian. They are on the other vehicle this morning. Tristan is having a bit of a rest. Ladies in the final control, of course, we've got Megan and Chantal. The Mara is not joining us this morning. They're doing some rehearsals, and they've been quite busy, so they won't be joining us today. So it's just Ali and myself out. So hopefully we will find some animals for you this morning in the Sabi Sands. Don't forget, we are completely live. So send your questions and your comments to #SafariLive on Twitter. That's how you get hold of us. Now, it's about 15 degrees Celsius, or about 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, I think, and Fergus mentioned, that the thermometer must be next to the oven in the kitchen, because it feels much colder than that. I even have a beanie on over my hat. And this was actually given to me by one of the viewers, Chris, who I met in Chicago. Chris, I told you it would come into use, and it definitely is today, so thank you very much. Fergus says I look like Elmer Fudd. It's wabbit season. What else? So we're going to try and look for some leopards this morning. That's going to be our plan, Fergus and I. We're going to see if we can't find, if Tandy and Tamba are still in that area that they were yesterday, or if there's any sign of Tingana around there perhaps. So we're just going to go and drive around and search down there. And it's my last drive for a while. I've been fired again. but I'll be back in July. So last drive for a while. It's been a great little stint again. Always wonderful to be on Safari Live. And yes, I'll be back around mid-July, somewhere around there. Mid to late July. Alright, now let's go over to Ellie, who would like to say good morning, and she's also got some Impala.
Good morning indeed. So we are taking one from the book of the Impalas and sticking to areas where it's a lot less windy, and where we're not becoming little ice cubes ourselves. My name is Ali, and on camera with me today I've got Sam. And we are very happy to have you guys on board for the morning, albeit a bit of a cold one. So we have decided to spend it like the Impala. You know, we should probably drive to the middle of the bush and just stay there where it's nice and warm. And like you all know, it's an interactive show, so if you guys want to send through any questions or comments, you're more than welcome to do so using the #SafariLive. Well done, Impala. You guys chose wisely. They were in a bit of a more open area, and you can see the grass, how it's being blown away by the wind. So they've just moved off to there's a bit of a thicket over here, where I'm sure they're not as cold as they were before. You can look at all of them. They're still looking quite fluffy. All of their hair is up, and it's just trapping that extra bit of warmth, just to make sure that they put on their jerseys, much like we have done today. I think today I've put maybe 2 extra layers because I was so cold. But look at them, so clever. We've got the royal pair there, the female, and it seems like the male was there, but now his head is down while he eats. Hello, boy. Somebody's too busy eating, trying to keep warm. So you see, in days like today, when it's very, very cold, a lot of the creatures will have to try and make an effort to eat more to try and maintain their body temperature. Because all of the mammals, and this is what makes us slightly different from all of the reptiles, we create our own heat by the food that we eat. So we metabolize our own food and transform that into body heat to try and keep a certain body temperature so that we don't get sick, or that we can maintain our daily operations and everything else. Now, when there is a lot of wind or it's very, very cold, then you need to try and eat more, because your body's going to spend a lot more energy trying to produce the same amount of heat and maintain us nice and warm. I think maybe even his bum is cold this morning. Let's go slightly forward, see if perhaps we can have a bit of a look. Sweet history, you're wondering if it's warmer now for this area. Sorry, Max, is that the question? I had too many people talking in my ear. Winter! Oh, of course, yes, it is winter at this time of the year. If you see all this grass around us, it's a good indication that it's winter because it's all yellow. So in winter here in South Africa, it does not, well, in this part of South Africa, it does not rain, or it shouldn't rain until September or so. So we haven't had any rain since late April, so all of the grass has turned very dry. The leaves are starting to die down. A lot of trees have lost their leaves, so definitely winter. This morning is a particularly cold morning because there's a very cold breeze coming in. So yesterday we had a fantastic hot day and we were very happy about it, and in the afternoon we were like, oh, we should have worn shorts. It was about 28 degrees Celsius, and this morning not so much. So that's why some of the animals are going into the thickets, why they've got their coats on and moving on. Saraya from New Jersey, you're wondering how well do impala adapt to the dry conditions? Well, actually, they are one of the animals that I would say do the best in the times of drought, and I'm going to try to explain why once we get a bit closer to them, because I think we might still be able to see a few of them from over here. Yes, well, at least one. Nope, running away. Well, at least we tried. So what's good about the impala is that they are mixed feeders, which means that they'll be able to feed on the grass that's on the ground, but also on the leaves. So that gives them a bit of an extra advantage when compared to other creatures, because if there's not enough of a certain food source, then they can swap and start eating the other one. So they'll always have food available to them up to an extent. And then a lot of the animals around here, especially the ruminants, they have very effective digestive systems, and every time they eat, they're able to extract even the tiniest bit of moisture out of what they eat. So that also helps them out. If the drought or the winter is too bad, then obviously it takes its toll in all of the creatures, and they start losing condition, and they don't look as well as they should. But having said that, there was quite an interesting study done, I think, for the last maybe 10-20 years in the Kruger National Park that points that the impala are probably the most successful mammal or antelope species that we get in this area, and it's the only one that's managed to double its numbers in the wild in the last 10 years or so. Part of it's because they are better equipped, or they have more adaptations that allow them to survive times of stress like this one. Well, if there isn't enough grass, or if the grass is not that palatable, then they'll start feeding on the leaves. Obviously, it all depends on them also finding water, because they do need to drink, not like other animals or other antelopes like the duikers or the giraffes that can go days and days without drinking. But if that were to happen, then obviously they start moving onto different areas where they know that they're going to be able to find water. So water around the Sabi Sand in general is not too much of a problem, because there are so many artificial water holes, and especially in front of the camps, that the animals always know where to go for water. And that is for wild dogs, lions, buffalo, elephants, and pretty much anything else. But if it were, for example, in the Kruger Park, where the water management, they've decided now to blow up certain number of water holes to try and redistribute animal species or promote the growth of certain grasses in certain areas, or trying to get animals out of there, then it becomes a bit more tricky, and then animals tend to concentrate more in other areas where they can find a bit more water. But I think in general Impala do quite well. I used to have the guy that trained me to become a ranger. He used to say that Impala are always overlooked, but they're actually the ninjas of the bush. So if you think about it, they do, because there are so many things that are after them that will come and eat them, but yet it's the animal that we see the most. You're just like, oh, Impala again, which doesn't really quite happen with some of the other creatures. So it's an interesting thought. I think, though, they're not being my favorites today because they are keeping warm in an area where we can't see them. Jamie Animation, you're wondering if impalas migrate as well. Not in this area. In this area, we don't have any animals that do great migrations like the ones they do in the Mara, for example. But there will be, if I can put it this way, there will be a smaller migration within a certain area. Or maybe migration is not the correct term. Displacement might be a bit better. So certain areas, particularly in the Kruger National Park, if there isn't enough water, then you'll see animals will start moving and concentrating and move off to areas where they know that they can find some water, rather than stay in a particular area where they can't find it anymore and then pretty much die of thirst. So there is a minor displacement, because it's not really that big to be called a migration, and it's not happens all the time. It just happens sort of when the conditions are apt for it. So it does, and like with the impala, we'll see other creatures like the water buck, the zebras, the wildebeest that will start moving around during the winter times into areas that are a bit more favorable, where they can find enough water and food. But it would be quite amazing one day to see a massive migration of impala. You know, imagine like we'd see the ones in the Mara. Apparently in the 1800s there used to be a massive migration of springbok, and I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it was from Johannesburg all the way, or from that area in the center of South Africa, all the way to the Karoo, if I'm not mistaken. Now springbok is a creature that looks very much like an impala. They just, both of them, males and females, have got horns, and they've got a bit of a white markings on their face. So they used to do a massive migration, a seasonal migration, looking for water, and they used to go from one place to the other. But because of the roads, the game farms, and everything we've put in as a human society, then we kind of cut that migration, and it doesn't happen anymore. So it's one of those migrations that we don't see, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, I think that's the closest one for an impala-sized looking animal. We're going to carry on looking for impala and any other small thing we can find around here, but let's go to Byron, I believe he's looking for leopards this morning. Let's see how he's doing. Let's turn on my radio.
I am indeed, Ellie. No luck just yet. There are some tracks on the road, but they are hyena tracks. So no leopard tracks just yet, or sign of a leopard. Going to keep looking very carefully. I'm in the area that the guys are all in yesterday when they were looking for leopards. So maybe, you never know, we could potentially find that female leopard and a youngster, Tundi and Tamba, and maybe a big male if we're lucky. Now yesterday morning, when Seb and I were driving off road trying to find a leopard or sign of a leopard, I mean, we were right in the middle of the block, and I don't think we would have found Tundi and Tamba if we didn't go in there. But it just shows you, you know, if they're walking through this thick stuff at the moment, it's very, very difficult to find them unless they cross a road or come out onto a road somewhere. Very, very cool morning this morning. which is good. I think that might mean that we potentially will have some more movement from the predators moving around. There was, the Tandy yesterday, she was moving around up until 9:30, 10 o'clock. It was still quite cool, so she was moving around a lot yesterday. Wouldn't it be nice just to find a leopard lying out in the open somewhere and we could just spot it? And make life a little bit easier for us today. Please. Terry, good question. You asked where have all the elephants gone. Terry, what happens often is you get slight seasonal movements of animals. I think now during this dry season, the animals, and especially elephant, tend to move a lot further looking for food and water. Now there is water here, but perhaps they still moving along the banks of the rivers where there's still very good vegetation. So it changes all the time, Terry. It really does change. So I'm sure we'll have some elephant back again soon. But they do move around, and we do see these little changes in sightings of certain animals. It's like giraffe too. We haven't seen many giraffe for quite a while. Some Franklins calling in the distance. There's a bit of a breeze this morning. It's a little bit windy, which is potentially good for the predators, those that want to try and hunt at night or during the day. If it's windy, it makes it a bit easier for them to probably stalk. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if the leopards in the area did a bit of stalking last night, because it was quite windy. You never know. You never know. So Ellie is also trying to track this morning. Not sure what she's tracking, but she's peering over a vehicle. Let's see.
I am peering over the vehicle. There were some lion tracks on the road, but I think they were from yesterday morning. So I believe the lions did quite a big loop around in the morning, because there are lots of other little tracks and grass, and the sand seems to have blown the tracks away. So unfortunately not quite fresh tracks, but maybe it's worth having a look around in this area. Perhaps one of the females is around, and oh, we have found all of the Impala of Djuma. And you were hiding. How unfriendly of you. Now this is a different herd from the one that we were looking at earlier, but you can see they're all pretty much tucked in together, and I'm sure they were in between the guari bushes that we see behind them, and everyone's just having breakfast now. Hello girls. All of you look quite cold, so I'm sure they spent quite an interesting night. Christy, you're wondering why they keep their tails between their legs. Well, it is quite cold, so I'm sure they're trying to prevent the cold breeze from getting anywhere and cooling them down, but also the tail normally has a very important role of just protecting sensitive areas. So all of their organs or genitals are in that particular area where the tail comes down, so it's a way of protecting them, especially when they go moving around in the thick bush or when they lay down, just because it's a bit of an extra layer, almost like a pair of pants, let's put it that way. Beautiful Impala. And everyone's having breakfast, and there's a fluffy tail with the black stripe in the middle, and then the fluffy white. So like we see, for example, some other animals, when it's quite cold, that they tuck themselves in, is exactly what the Impala do with their tail. Jenny Animation, you're wondering how many antelope species there are in Africa. I'm not 100% sure, actually, because there are many species and then a lot more subspecies, so animals that are very closely related to each other but are different enough to be considered two different things. So if I were to put a guess, I would reckon maybe around 100 different one of them at least. I'm sure there's a lot more than that, but I can't really give you one number. It's funny enough because I've been reading a book that's called Antelope of Africa, and it just gives you all of the different species and subspecies and how they're all related and the general characteristics, and it's quite a thick book, so I'm trying to think from there how many there could be, but I would put it just above 100 if you just consider the main groups all together, because we've got obviously the kudus and the waterbucks and the gazelles and the duikers and the steenbok and the nyala and the bongos and sitatungas and lechwe and puku, so all sorts of different things that live in different areas of South Africa, or not South Africa, sorry, Africa. Oh, somebody started ruminating already. Dear watcher, you're wondering how many babies do impala have? Well, they have one at a time normally. I believe that twins have been recorded, but it's very, very rare. So just one. Normally just one female, one little lamb. And they all tend to be born when the rainy season starts, around about November, December, when the grass is green and the mothers can eat a lot more and therefore produce a lot of milk and try and raise their babies as quick as possible so that they're strong and fit. Hello, girls. They're all looking very pretty this morning, I must say, with their beautiful coats all fluffed up like that. Alright, I hear there's a lot of stuff happening on the radio. I'm just going to try to pay attention to what they say, but in the meantime, let's go to Byron and see how he's doing.
Ellie, we are doing very well. We are appreciating and enjoying the sunrise. Now look at this beautiful shot of an acacia, a little thorn tree, with the sunrise behind it. Very beautiful. There's the sunrise. Some lovely silhouettes at the moment too. Lovely. Very, very nice. So we're just enjoying the sunrise at the moment, taking some time to stop and listen, just to hear if we can hear any sign of potential predators. Look at that. That's different. Ferg's playing with his creative and artistic side. Fergs is actually very, very sensitive. He reads poetry to us at night. Nancy, you say it must be Ferg. You are correct, Nancy. Ferg said to me this morning, I said, which way should we go? I asked, which way should we go this morning, Fergs? And he said, Byron, two paths diverged. I shall take the one less travelled. Again, his poetic side. I think that's Robert Frost.
I was about to say, that sounds a bit like plagiarism. This cat don't plagiarise.
Ferg says that he doesn't plagiarize. He comes up with his own poetry. And some of you are saying that looks like a screenshot. Yeah, it does. Look at that beautiful silhouette. Just, something different. Enjoying the morning beauty while we look for animals. I think that's quite important, and I was thinking about it yesterday. I said, I think it doesn't matter where you are in the world. I suppose you can find beauty in just about anything. So maybe that is going to be my tip of the day for today, my final or last tip of the day for this little stretch, is take time to appreciate the beauty in your area, wherever you are in the world. I think it's important. You know, we sometimes look past, we get so busy and involved in our lives that we sometimes forget just to take a moment and appreciate things. I think that's, what do you think, folks? That's a nice tip of the day. Come on.
I think that is.
Thank you. Hey, deep for this Friday morning.
Can you say that on the Fud's voice?
I can't say it in Elmer Fudd's voice though. Ferg still thinks I look like Elmer Fudd. That's so Elmer Fudd and Bugs Bunny are on Rusty this morning. Shall we continue and see if we can't have any more luck with some leopard tracks? I'm taking this drive very seriously, and I'm saying this because Ellies actually stopped for a morning coffee. I did not bring coffee with me this morning. I am purely focused on finding animals, so no time for a coffee stop for us this morning. Sorry folks, but let's go and join Ellie for a morning coffee.
Poor Ferg, no morning coffee. Actually, there have been reports for tracks for wild dogs. So I'm just gonna go into one of the roads where they could potentially head if they're doing a big loop around. And who knows, maybe we'll get lucky with some tracks around there, because it seems like their tracks are on top of our tracks from this morning. So we might have just missed them. So let's just go and have a bit of a look. Thank you, Megan. Thank you. Let's see, because there's lots of opportunity for them to come around into this area. Because I mean, we've found so many Impala herds, so it could be that they've come around into this area. Let me just update the guy. Tax, I'm gonna turn around and go towards Viatella access and see if perhaps they come around onto this side. I've just turned around from Aubrey, so I'm almost at Viatella access now. I'm gonna head towards Gallagher. Copy. Alright, let's go have a look. It seems like the wild dogs are being naughty and they're walking up and down and moving in every direction, which is normally what they like doing. But I have a feeling they might just head onto this area, because we've seen so many Impala for this morning that I wouldn't be surprised if they're actually dashing through the bushes and just looking for a big clearing. So there are two potential areas where they could go, or I assume they could go. One of them is here where we've been hanging around this morning, and funny enough, Seb and I were talking this morning and we're like, oh, we would love to see wild dogs today. I think maybe you're my wild dog companion, Seb. Yeah, good, I'm not complaining. But let's see if maybe we get lucky again, or otherwise if they change direction they could head on to quarantine, which would be just fantastic, because then we would have them quite out in the open. But let's see, everyone still seems quite relaxed around here. So just want to keep my eyes on the road as well, see if perhaps they don't come out here somewhere. Beautiful morning. Perfect for all the predators to start moving around. What are these tracks? Go back, go back, go back. Maybe this is where the guys have come. Sorry, I just wanna first of all try and decide if these are really wild dog tracks. Does it look like it? Well, let's see. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think I was actually looking at the tracks for something else. Let's see. Peyton, you're saying that wild dogs would be so awesome. I agree with you. How cool would that be? Hopefully we'll be able to find them. I mean, I'm not too sure how many tracks they've got on that side. I think maybe it's the 3 that we were looking at the other day. Because currently around this area we've got 2 packs roaming around. We've got the one that is just the 3, the breakaway lower Sabi pack, and then we've got the 12, which is the Sands pack. So I'm not too sure how many there would be there. Look at this, what are all these tracks here? But just any wild dog, even the tail of the wild dog, I reckon would be quite nice. I'm not sure now. Right, this is where the guys came up here. I just want to see where these tracks go. This is where we were going. I'm not sure. So maybe it might be worth going up on this road again. All these tracks. I just want to have a closer look over here and just figure something out quickly. I think these are all naughty fucking things. Right, it seems like their tracks are headed roughly in that direction, so let's go maybe have a look around, see if perhaps we can see anything else popping out over there. Maybe we'll get lucky. Ashes one, you're asking if maybe I got a cold from the animals. Is that correct, Megs? Bless you, Seb. Maybe. No, I think I just got it from the really cold weather. And that's pretty much it. I'm sure these things... it's just, we've had such a big change in temperature. We've had very cold winds in the mornings and then very hot afternoons, so I'm pretty sure it's been affecting everyone altogether. What are these tracks now? These tracks have changed. It seems like these tracks are hyena tracks now. Lots of hyena tracks here. Maybe the hyenas are also tracking the wild dogs. There we go. Hyenas and wild dogs roaming around together. I just want to have a closer look. Taxon, fairly Taxon. Yeah, Seems like there are more trucks, but they're heading on Vuyatela towards quarantine, so I'm gonna maybe go have a look around there. Back to the north. Okay, Covey, maybe they've just done a big loop around. Okay, Copy. It seems like our beautiful wild dogs have been doing a very big loop around, because we have found some other tracks going up and then they came down and then they've gone all the way back up. So I wonder if they haven't been moving for quite a while or non-stop, because I see some other tracks are heading back into the same direction where we went. So while we carry on looking for one of the smallest creatures and the one that doesn't ever stop running, let's go over to Byron, who's managed to find one of the most gigantic ones that we get out here.
We have indeed, Ellie and Terry. Look at that. You were asking about elephant. Where have they all gone? They've come to say goodbye to me today, I think. So we've got a herd of elephant. I can hear some others around. Can't see them, but we can see this female and youngster through there. Luckily, we've got a nice view of them, but I can hear others breaking branches in this area. I just can't see them. The bush is quite thick where we are at the moment, but that's a lovely view of some elephant. Looks like that female's feeding on, looks like some roots that she may have pulled up there. Sometimes they do pull up certain roots and feed on it because there's a lot of nutrients in those root systems. And that young elephant next to her. Oh, I don't know. Fergus asked if this is the female elephant that's got half a trunk. Let's see. Or you're missing a portion of the trunk, rather. Let's just have a look. Is it? It looks like it. I think you're right, Fergus. Yeah, I think this is that elephant. It's missing a little bit of the trunk there. The tip of the trunk. Is that the one you were thinking of, Fergus? Yeah, it looks like she's missing the tip of her trunk. If you look at that little one's trunk, you see it's got, or what appears to be like almost 2 fingers that they use. So this elephant doesn't have it. I think I remember seeing this elephant before too. But it doesn't look like it's affected her in any way. It's still been managed to feed and looks like she's doing well. Sometimes you do get these birth defects, or it may have been an injury at a young age, and somehow I don't know what it would have been actually, but it could be birth defects or injuries or anything like that could cause an elephant to lose a part of their trunk. But I've seen an elephant with a much shorter trunk than that and still managed to survive and look after itself in a herd before. So I suppose they adapt with what they've got. Jessica, you were asking if it's potentially from a predator. I'm not sure, Jessica. Now it can be at times where maybe, and I've seen this before with a crocodile trying to grab an elephant trunk or bite the tail of an elephant off when they go into deep water. Crocodiles take chances. I mean, it's highly unlikely a crocodile would be able to attack an elephant, but they take chances. And yes, maybe get a piece of a trunk or a tail off. I don't know about lions. Maybe at a young age, if the lions tried to hunt an elephant, grabbed it by its trunk, perhaps. But I don't think this is from a predator. Jenny, all the way in Indonesia. Hello, Jenny. Good morning to you from South Africa. You asked if we are able to identify all the elephants. Jenny, no, not really. Well, it's easier, Jenny, with... okay, first thing, let me first say this. There are thousands of elephant within the greater Kruger, where we are. So they constantly move through different areas, and we regularly see new and different elephant. We do occasionally get to see elephant that might have some distinguishing factor that we are able to recognize them through. So something like this with a piece of a trunk missing, one that's got a very distinct tusk, perhaps. I think Tristan was speaking about an elephant that they've called a fang. Oh, dear, I hope that name doesn't stick. I just think it's the wrong name for an elephant. But however, they've called it that because the one trunk grows backwards, and sorry, the one tusk grows backwards. So, you know, something like that would make an elephant stand out, and we would be able to recognize them, Jenny. But in general, we don't really, because they're different herds that move through the area constantly. But sometimes there might be some elephants that we do recognize, just that we see once or twice or even more. But we don't really name them or anything because, I mean, they're wild animals again, and you never really know. Some of the big males, they can be quite recognizable. The very large bulls, if they've got big tusks. And you see now that elephant's trunk is working perfectly fine. She could pick up and move that branch very easily. Sorry, the name, shame, and Megs is a little bit sick with flu. King Quad, thank you, Megs, sorry. I've been trying to doctor Megs and get her right as rain again. King Quad, you asked how or what these elephants do with their trunks when they do trumpet. If they extend them out and trumpet, or do they coil them up? So there's no distinguishing movement that they do, or serious movement that they do with their trunk when they do trumpet. Sometimes they trumpet and they flick their trunk around. Sometimes they'll curl it slightly. Sometimes extend it a little bit. There's no exact movement that they use for their trunks when they do trumpet. I haven't seen them do anything specific, to be honest. No. I might sit here for a little bit longer, just see if we can see the rest of the herd. But Ali had Kudu that ran away. I wonder how her wild dog search is going, though.
Well, we had Kudu, very beautiful big male Kudus with their beautiful horns walking in this wonderful sea of grass with perfect golden light, and then all of a sudden they got spooked by something and they started running away. So I'm not too sure if they smelled something or if they picked up on something that we clearly don't. So we're just going around slowly, see if perhaps there's anything else around here. I wonder. I don't think too many things would probably be around quarantine because it's quite open, and quite open, cold breeze, animals get cold. So I'm not too sure. Sorry, I just want to... Alright, it seems like Tags managed to find the tracks for the wild dogs again, but it seems like they've headed onto... I think it's Buffalo's Hook. So they've done a massive loop around and then gone straight back north, which is not rare for wild dogs, but I have hope that maybe they'll come back. So, sorry James, you were asking what species of animals change their feeding habits during the winter other than the elephants? Well, I think pretty much all of them have to change them or adapt them to a degree so that they can sustain themselves. So we were talking about Impala earlier, how they can choose, or they'll start feeding on the grass if there aren't too many leaves available, or the other way around, depending on what they can find around them. So I think up to an extent, all of the herbivores, they need to start adapting, and we will find them feeding on things that maybe during the summer times they will not even stop to have a second look at. But in general, what becomes very important for the diet of all the creatures around this area are the pods from the acacias. So the acacias are going to have those beautiful, some of them like very long, look like bean pods. Oh, sorry, what are these tracks here? Monkeys. And they're going to be feeding upon them, and it's a good source of protein for pretty much all of the animals. So we'll see that they'll start feeding on them a lot more than what they would normally during the summertime. The predators, on the other hand, I think they'll be quite happy with the next few months, because the lack of food makes everyone a bit more vulnerable to pretty much everything. So they'll also start losing condition, and it's a good time of the year, especially for the predators that have got young cubs, because their success rate in any attempt hunt might just be slightly higher than during the summer months. So they could maybe have fuller bellies for longer. I want to see. I have a feeling there's going to be something around here. I don't know why. Hopefully I won't be wrong. So yeah, unfortunately, all of the animals need to adapt if they want to survive, but I think it's quite fantastic, the resilience of them all, that during the summertime, they'll stick to, textbook type of thing, of the things that they will eat, but then come the winter months when everything is drier, it's almost like all rules are off, do what you have to do to survive. Which I think it's quite admirable. They can't be stubborn. They have to adapt if they want to survive, especially when there isn't so much food. Look at this pretty impala in that beautiful golden light. Hello. We are sorry, but we're looking for the wild dogs that might want to come and eat you. That was horrible. I'm sorry. You're so pretty. One of the last standing boys out here in the open. Yes, I probably deserve that. Oh, you're stretching. Somebody had a sleep in this morning and hasn't started moving until it was a bit too late. Have you now? Okay, and you're also hiding behind the bushes, so we shall try to leave you there. Larry, you're 7 years old and you're wondering why is the impala brown? Well, a lot of the animals around here, they are the colors that they can find in nature, because it's good camouflage for them. So the impala are brown because they spend a lot of the time amongst this grass over here, and during the summertime they can go into areas where there's a lot of trees and bushes and everything else. So if they go underneath the shade of them, if they're brown, it's going to be slightly harder to see them. So I think they are brown just because they hide a bit better in the environment or in wherever they might be. So you must remember that a lot of the predators, they don't see in color the same way that we do, and they see almost shades of black and white, or not as many colors as what we do, but they can pick up movement a lot easier. So if you see the impala, just imagine it's black and white and it's hiding between bushes that are black and white as well. You might not be able to see them, and if it's standing in this beautiful grass that is of a lighter color, then we won't be able to see it all that well. Although it's come out of its hiding spot now. So if this were in black and white, imagine maybe you wouldn't be able to see it all that well. So that's exactly what they're counting on. I think this boy is looking a bit cold though, and lonely. Where's the rest of your group? I haven't seen too many impala around quarantine this morning. So I think maybe they've all decided to go somewhere else. Someone's just being lazy even at ruminating. He's chewing a little bit there. Yep. And this wind is definitely not ideal for any... yawning. Yeah, someone definitely woke up a bit too late this morning. But isn't that stunning? Those beautiful horns and the colors, and I think this is why I love winter. All those colors are just, I think they're wonderful. Busy ruminating now, are we? After eating for a little bit. Oh, I think I might be getting a cold, actually. Ooh, sorry about that, thanks. Alright, I think maybe let's just leave this wonderful Impala before I catch a cold. And let's go on to a different area, see what we can find there. So long we've been thinking like Impala, I think, Seb. So that's why we keep finding them. Let's see if maybe we can do one last loop around. Perhaps the wild dogs will come back. But in the meantime, let's go over to Byron, who seems to have lost his big elephant.
I did lose them. They've disappeared. They moved through a thicket. And they moved off. It's amazing how those large animals can disappear quite quickly and through the thicker bush. Now, I think... sure, it's cold. I think there were quite a few elephant. As they were moving off, we could see some others. It looked like at least 5 or 6 that were in that little group moving through there. Possibly more. We couldn't see what was further in the bush, so there's possibly more around there. They just decided to move off. And don't forget, actually, now, Megan, is it National or International Elephant Day? Or I suppose, is it just National Elephant Day in South Africa or International Elephant Day? That's right. That's right. So, don't forget, it's International Awareness Week for Animals. And we've had awareness for a number of animals already, wild dog and giraffe. And today is elephant, so Elephant Day, so that was so appropriate that we got to see some elephant on World Awareness Elephant Day, World Elephant Awareness Day. I get confused, I'm sorry. You know what I mean. Something like that. Hold on, what tracks have we got here? It looks like a hyena. No, we haven't had any leopard tracks, so I haven't had any leopard tracks. So, my thinking is that I wonder, firstly, yesterday, Tristan didn't have any luck, or Ellie didn't have any luck with Tandy and Tamba in the afternoon, but I wonder if they didn't have a kill in the area somewhere, and if Tingana had shown up, and if he'd stolen the kill. That sometimes does happen with leopards. Males do go and steal kills from other leopards. So I wonder if that didn't cause a bit of unrest in the area, and if they then either got another kill and are hiding in a thicket somewhere. I'm not sure. But I'm going to be looking very carefully, scanning the tops of trees. Maybe, imagine we find a kill hoisted in a tree and a leopard feeding on it. That would be wonderful. That would be a great little way for me to end this little stint. Now it sounds like those kudu that ran away from Ellie earlier, I'm not sure if it's the same ones, but she's managed to find some to show you.
Yes, we have managed to find some beautiful kudu in the long grass and the golden lights, so we are very happy about it. It seems like it's a breeding herd, so a lot of females, young ones and young males all together running around. And they all had their mouth full, so I'm sure they've already started moving around and having breakfast, but they've moved now into a bit of a funky position. So I think, Seb, let me just try going forward, see if we can get past all these branches. And maybe we'll have a bit of a closer look at this beautiful antelope, because they are looking just wonderful this morning. Don't run, guys. You see, the wind makes everyone a bit agitated, so they don't particularly like it. They can't hear all that well. The wind starts moving in every direction. It takes certain smells away. So I think everyone just becomes a bit wary, and they're all quite nervous. The same as the impala that we saw earlier. Everyone's just trying to watch out, because this is very good weather for predators if they want to try and approach. So who knows, maybe even Tandi and Tamba got lucky again last night. Maybe even Tingana did. I wonder where he went off. Maybe he's still finishing that kill on little Gowrie. Hello, beautiful. Having breakfast? Ah, yeah, talking to you. Nice. Mary Kay, you say that they are so beautiful. I agree with you, but I think they're also being a bit unfriendly now. They should have stayed out in the open for us to admire their beauty. But they are stunning creatures, and they're also looking quite healthy and in very good general shape. I think this group had 2 young males moving around there, and perhaps a few youngsters as well. But I think let's just leave them for now. They have gone into a bit of a thick area, so we're just going to carry on and see what else we can find on our walkabout this morning. Well, drive around more accurate. But so far I think it's been a wonderful, glorious morning. I love it when the light is this beautiful. Dear watcher, you're wondering how closely related the antelope in South Africa are to the ones in the States. Well, I'm not too sure, but I don't believe that they're that closely related. If we consider how many millions of years ago they assume that the Earth split into the different continents, that just gives them millions and millions of years to actually have evolved in different manner, not to be considered that they're actually related at all. So I know that, for example, the fish eagle and the American bald eagle, they are very distantly related, so I could assume that certain species of deer might be closely related to certain species of antelope in South Africa. However, I'm more tempted to say that they would probably be more closely related to the ones found in Europe. I don't think the ones here and the ones over there share too many traits in common, other than, you know, being integrated into a more general family, or having evolved from a very, very long distant ancestor. Having said that, I'm not too sure if there are perhaps particular species that share more genetics than others. It would be interesting to see, because Kudus are quite big, so maybe they'll be more related to something like a moose, but yet again the moose is a lot bigger, or an elk. I'm not sure. I don't think they're too closely related, to be honest. As even here, even in southern Africa, the relationships between antelope and different species, even though they could potentially look the same, but they're not closely related at all. And I mean, that's creatures that are in the same continent, or they have been pretty much in the same continent for the last few million years or thousands of years. Maybe I shall look that up in my antelope book. Alright, we want to check one last area. I think maybe the wild dogs have gone all the way north into Buffelshoek, so I'm going to give them enough time to come back. You see, as soon as I speak about them, they come back onto Djuma. Alright, we're going to do a big loop around. Seems like now the tracks from the wild dogs have left Buffelshoek and come all the way back down. But I think Byron is maybe a bit more close to that area than what we are. So we're going to do a big loop around and see if perhaps they don't decide to come this way. Because if there's one animal that's incredibly hard to track, that is the wild dogs, and it's because, well, they don't stop moving around. The other day, I think, Seb, did we spend the whole morning looking for them, roughly? And
We had them for 10 minutes.
yeah. But they came and they went and they did this and they came around, so we were very happy to see them. But I think Byron is close to that area, so hopefully Byron will get lucky today with them. So I think he's closer to the area where they're talking about. We're still a bit far because we're checking in the distance. Liz in Buckland, you're wondering if I've ever heard of wild dogs being tame. I have never heard of wild dogs being tame. I'm sure there's been an attempt somewhere, but I'm just not aware of any of them. I know that they, when kept in captivity, they're not one of the most dangerous ones. So I think people are quite lenient with them, as they're not the biggest creatures around, and they tend to be somewhat more friendly towards humans than, for example, maybe a lion, a leopard, or a tiger would be. But I've never heard of people roaming around with their packs of wild dogs. Well, that would be quite interesting. You see, the wild dogs are roughly headed, it seems, from the direction where they were, the tracks towards quarantine area, maybe towards the dam camp. So just keep an eye out, guys, if you're watching, and just if you see anything on the dam, just let us know straight away and using the hashtag Safari Live, because we're not too far away, so maybe we can go have a look. I think it's getting a bit complicated now. Let's see what else is around here. I see why the animals prefer it here. The wind is definitely not making my ears so cold now. You're from Texas and 12 years old, and you're wondering if ticks go away in the winter. Well, not entirely. They are still around, although they don't bother us as much as they would do in the summer. But we can still find them. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by the radio. I apologize. So yes, we still have them during the winter time, and we will often see them on top of the animals. But the good thing is that at this time of the year, it's not that easy to get them on you when you start walking around, because in the summertime they're always almost there in the bushes waiting to attach themselves onto something. So at this time of the year, a lot of them are just still in tiny little egg form and they're gonna start hatching later on. Alright, let's see, what are these tracks here? I know these dogs are gonna go to the dam. I can feel it in my heart. Alrighty. I actually haven't seen ticks recently. Have you, Seb?
What, sorry?
Ticks.
Oh, no.
No, I know.
Lots of them in winter, no?
Yeah. No, well, I don't see as many. Because I know in the summertime, Tristan's legs are always covered. Francis from Israel, you're wondering if we have mosquitoes here now. Well, they never fully go away, but they're not as active as my neck as they are during the summertime. Oh, sorry, I just twisted my neck in a funny way. So there aren't as many water sources around as there are in the summertime. Therefore, there aren't as many mosquitoes. Oh, my neck. We did have quite a few cases of malaria in the last few months, and I think most of it was attached to maybe some trucks coming from Mozambique that swapped their route around and came around this area. So a lot of supplies were being brought over. The mosquitoes were in the crates inside, or just, you know, kind of went and hitchhiked and got a free ride, and they became a bit of a problem. But what is that on that tree over there? Is that a go away bird? Looking very cold. It is. So that is one of the funniest birds around this area, the grey go-away bird. That to me always looks like a rock star. I think all the go-away and Turaco species kind of look like that because of that wonderful little crest that they've got on top of their head. And somebody's just grooming. And they're called the go-away bird, as some of you may know, because they have a very unfriendly call that almost seems like they're telling you to go away. So they'll go away. So it's it's quite unique to them. Oh, stretching. There's the rockstar crest going up. Hello. I think maybe you've got to hold on to that branch quite well, because otherwise the wind's gonna blow you away. Yeah, the wind's picking up a little bit more now, as you can see, but I think he's doing a good job of staying there. And gone back down where the wind is not as strong. Very clever little creature. Lorena, you're saying that you do love those birds. I love them too. I think they're funny. And they're just very naughty, and they're always like, you know, up to something and doing things and going up and down. So, not bad. Whoop. Whoop. Ash's one, you say that it looks like a cockatiel mixed with ashes. Yeah, just slightly smaller. I think they are not as big as a cockatiels that we get in, or that you get in some other parts of the world, but maybe if we overfed one. Imagine one of them the size of a chicken. That would be quite funny. Alright, it seems like the wild dogs have been playing games. Some of them came onto my tracks after I drove around, and then those are the tracks that Taxon find, and then he's been driving around, and it seems like the wild dogs have now walked on top of Byron's tracks. So I wonder if they were not actually stalking us this morning and making fun and be like, haha, there goes the human. Maybe they were also observing us and, you know, sharing all of their knowledge about what humans do and how they go around with funny looking cars, looking for them all the time. I think that would be quite an interesting reality check for all of us. Alrighty, let's see what else there is around here. Alright. Well, I think what we've done is we've checked all the areas where the where the potential prey is. So maybe they'll come to us. I think that seems to be the way that it works, but I'm hoping Byron's gonna get lucky because he's very hot on the tracks of the dogs. So, Byron, all of our faith is on you. That would be quite a good send-off for him, don't you guys think? Just have the most beautiful animal around before he goes anywhere. There was a tiny button quail flying around, so that was pretty. Some Ellies have been walking around. I think maybe we should just carry on down this road and see what else we can find. And we're not too far from that area also where Tristan was checking for shadow yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe we can swing past there, have a look as well. And see what all these creatures have been up to tonight. Whoop. Alrighty. I want to try and find the new road to check, because I think we've covered this area, definitely not here, and we're back onto the main road now. But I see a car there. I think it's fine. We shall carry on. There's always something. What is that on the road? Is that an Impala? It is. I think maybe today is the Impala drive. They seem to be quite friendly all around. Hello boys, good to see you again. It's almost like we're doing the recount for the wild dogs. We know exactly where they should go to find all the Impala. But maybe they're not in the mood for Impala today. Maybe they want to have Kudu or Nyala or what else could they be having? Diker? They also like Diker. Just two of them. It's a bachelor group. Alright boys, mind if we join you on the morning stroll? No? You're going somewhere else? Okay. Thank you though. At least you are friendly. Ah, look, there's 4 of you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 actually. See, all of the animals are quite nervous and the wind is howling. I don't know if you guys can hear it while I talk around this area, so I think we're also going to go into an area that's a bit more closed up because the animals will probably be a bit more relaxed there. Seems like the wind is playing tricks and playing games on everyone. So nobody seems to be too happy about it. Bye guys. Whew. Very cold. I'm hoping I won't get a cold. Sorry Max, can you repeat that again? You were breaking up a little bit. I believe that there's a question from Bobby. Bobby, you're wondering if animals can use each other to be alert, or if they can follow each other's scents. They can. A lot of the times the Impala or pretty much any antelope species will make an alarm call if they find or if they spot a predator, if they smell something that they don't think it's right. And for most of the antelope species, it almost sounds like a dog barking, and it's very, I know it sounds very strange, but that's the way it sounds. And once they give that call, even zebras would do it, and wildebeest, even giraffe have an alarm call, then everybody around them knows to be careful about the potential predator being around. Those little, I don't know if you've ever noticed those little glands at the bottom of the feet of the Impala. There are multiple theories about why they've got them, and nobody knows for sure, but it seems like the most widely accepted theory is that when there's a predator that attacks them, or a predator that comes after them, and they all scatter in different directions, it seems like they put out pheromones from these glands, or a scent that allows them to, the wind is howling here, that allow them to then be able to find each other using olfactory communication and olfactory cues. So they use everything that's at their disposal to be able not only to be alert and help each other out, but also just to then be able to find each other. Whew, okay, seems like the wind is a bit better down here. I think we're gonna head back into a thicker area. That's a Hello.
How are you?
Good, thanks, and you?
Good.
What
Right down in Main.
Yeah?
And you'll see Rolf standing there.
Okay.
Shadow is there with the Mantuan and a Bamba.
Okay.
They're inside off months, but you can see them.
Okay, I'm gonna go that way then. Thank you so much. All right, yay, good news. So let me just call myself in. Ralph, Rally Ralph. Ralph, Rally Ralph. Alright, so it seems like Peter from Nkoro has been a very nice guy to us, and he's just mentioned that Shadow with the little one, they're on a kill. So they are in an area where we cannot go. However, we can see them from the road. So let's give it a try. See if perhaps we get lucky with some spots. Yay! Which would be quite cool. So let's see if maybe we can find the guys down here. So I'm gonna make my way straight in that direction. Not gonna stop for anything on the road unless there are beautiful animals or a big bull elephant, and we'll get there. I'm not too sure how far away it is, but I just want to try and get there as quickly as possible. And I'm sure that's where she was in between yesterday and today, because Tristan went looking for her, and I think you did with Tristan yesterday. Hey Seb. So I'm sure she's been in and out, just well, she's got a little cub, so she's got to look after it. All right, let's see. Lots of trucks around here. All right, I see a vehicle on the road, so hopefully we'll see some spots. Yay. Let's see, I'm not too sure if we're gonna be able to see more than an ear twitching, but here's to hoping that even a little ear twitching. And there are quite a few cars around here, so I just wanna see how this plays out and just be able to move around, because I'm not too sure where the kill is. Okay, I see a termite mound, and I think I see a leopard too. Definitely see a leopard in between the bushes over there. So we're just gonna wait for the guys to stop moving around so that we can go and have a bit of a closer look. Pardon? No, just at the base of the termite mound, exactly where Dylan is going in. So you see the marula? The middle one, go a bit to your left. But I'm gonna go slightly closer and hopefully we'll be able to. Okay, hang on. Okay, let me see. There we go. Yes. Hello. Ah, you're calling for your cub. See, that's a contact call for Shadow. She's busy looking for the cub. And I'm not too sure if the cub is on top of the mound. It is! The little cub is on top of the termite mound, so they're both here. Oh my goodness, this is wonderful.
I can't get it. It's in my way.
Pardon?
Explain it, I can't get it.
I don't know if you'll be able to. I'm gonna try going forward. Sorry, Seb. I think it's just a bit of a tricky one. So if you look to the top of the termite mound, to the right, that little, that bundle there.
She's in my way.
Yes, no, I know. That's why I thought you couldn't see it. Sorry, I got a bit carried away there because I'm slightly forward. Is that the kill over there? There it is. You see, I think it's eating a scrub hare. So it should have been good with the scrub hare than the little one. If it is a scrub hare, although it looks like it. Well, hello, youngster. I think this is the only the second time that I've ever seen it. Clearly, Mom has been doing a fantastic job of keeping it safe. And at least I got lucky with one of the sisters, because I think Tandy and Tamba haven't been too friendly. At least to me, but you know, if they were being chased by Tingana yesterday, I'll forgive them. But very nice to see this tiny little one. How special is this? And the camouflage. My goodness, the camouflage is amazing. If guys hadn't told us that they were here, imagine how easily we could have just missed them and missed all this fun. Someone's hungry. precious little thing. Wonderful. Still eating. Voracious appetite, hey? How big of a leopard of you? How cute is that? See, the instinct is kicking in and it already knows exactly what to do with its kill and what to do with it and how to carry it. So as soon as it felt like there was another car, it grabbed it around. Ash is what? You're wondering if the little one has a name yet. No, it doesn't have a name yet. It's still a bit too young to have a name. So I think with Shadow it's always good to wait for a little while, see how her cubs do, because she hasn't been the most successful of mothers. But the little one has gone all the way back down on the termite mound. Maybe perhaps it's retreated into an area where it feels like it's a bit safer. But there's Mother Shadow looking quite sleepy. Nothing to worry about. And she was calling it earlier, so I wonder if maybe she wanted it to bring down the scrub hare that it caught. Pretty. This is wonderful. So lucky as well that she caught it and she's kept the cub right next to the main road so that we could see it. But great work, girl. Seems like you've been doing well with the scrub hares. And you see, she's only got a small cub and just the one, so that little one will be able to have a very good meal out of that scrub hare. Even something like a mongoose would still be a good meal for it, because it's not that big yet, but when we were looking at it earlier, voracious appetite. So I think maybe Shadow's a bit tired. She could probably have been moving around the whole evening just to try and succeed and catch one of these little things, or maybe she caught it just in the early hours of the morning. And now she's probably gone down for a very well-deserved rest. Still quite alert. Her ears are constantly moving around. Mario, you're wondering if the baby's teeth are strong enough to chew through flesh. They are. They can probably crush through thinner bone as well, maybe just not the bigger bones. But little leopards, when they're about maybe 6 to 8 weeks old, that's when the mom starts introducing them to meat. So this one is already a few months old and she cannot sustain it just with the milk. So they need to start eating meat, and the more they eat it, then, well, clearly they're going to learn how to wangle their way around the different body parts and how to get to the good meaty parts that there are. But yeah, definitely can. And I don't know if you saw earlier, it grabbed the little one or the little scrub here, and then it took it all the way back down. So he's got quite an understanding of what to do. Are you calling for it? Yeah, she's still calling for the cub. You see, when every now and again she goes like, "Wah, wah." That's her looking for it. No one likes me. You're wondering how many months the little one needs to be looked after. So with leopards in general, most mothers will stay with their young ones until they're about maybe a year and a half, 2 years old, and then once they have their next litter, then that's when they'll become less tolerant of their older cubs and start pushing them away. So I would say this little one has got at least another year under its mother's care. Still a while. However, we have a very unique case of two younger leopards who are actually half sister and half brother of this one that we're looking at, that their mother seems to have gone missing, and they have done a fantastic job at surviving. I think they were a bit too young when they had to start being on their own, but they've done a great job at just pretty much staying alive and looking well. Hello, Shadow.
Ali,
Yes?
talking to you, I want to get out.
Okay. Alright. I'm just going to... I don't know. Okay. I'm going to move so that they can move around. Does he... I don't understand if he wants to reposition or get out. Are you coming out? Alright, we're going to figure out what to do around here, but in the meantime, let's go over to Byron, who's still busy looking for the wild dogs. I hope he'll be lucky.
I am indeed, Ellie. It's so great that you got to see Shadow now and her young cub. I haven't seen them yet, so that's very exciting. I'm racing around at the moment trying to find wild dogs, and they're definitely giving us the runaround though. And myself and one of the other guides, Texan, we looking all over the show for these wild dogs at the moment, but no luck just yet. Tracks heading all over the show, up and down, everywhere. Oh, it's always difficult when you have wild dogs running through an area. I mean, they can disappear and they'll especially in an area like this where it's thick. It's incredibly difficult to keep up with wild dogs. No, Robertson, no one that I know of has ever been bitten by a wild dog. But we also don't get close enough to them for that, thank goodness. But no one I know of has ever been attacked by a wild dog. I don't know of any story like that. They generally will just leave you alone and move away. I'm just having a look here carefully, trying to see, maybe we see an impala running or a glimpse of a wild dog rushing through the bush. Come on. Machine gun nest. You say you go, Byron. Well, we're trying machine gun nest, I promise. A dog whistle. Is that what it said? Yeah. Oh. So I've got a lot of people speaking to my ear at the moment. there's game drive updates, and then I hear mixed conversations. I'm sorry, but just shows maybe men aren't made to listen to more than one conversation at a time. I do apologize. So you said use a dog whistle. Okay, I'll use a dog whistle rather. Dear watcher, no, the wild dogs will not mate with domestic dogs, and also we would try and obviously avoid that, but the wild dogs are not meant to come into contact with domestic dogs at all, and they're very different. They're very different compared to domestic dogs. So the chances of them mating with a domestic dog, even if they come into contact, is highly unlikely. Because the wild dogs are pack animals. There's a hierarchy within the pack. very different to how domestic dogs are raised, or how domestic dogs actually act and behave. Completely different. I mean, these wild dogs that hunt, you know, they're completely, it's very fascinating to see them now. Sorry, I'm just trying to have a look for tracks or any sign of these dogs. I haven't seen any tracks yet. Now the other guides, or Jackson at least, has seen tracks. Oh, now hang on, shadows apparently moving. Let's go back to Ellie to see where they're going.
She seems to so the cub is behind of that termite mound, and I think maybe she's just gone. You see, she's still calling for it. So we know that it's not far away because we saw it recently, but I think she's just, you know, pulling out the mom voice and be like, I said, you need to come here. So she's definitely smelling where the cub was on top of the termite mound, and I'm sure she can see it. Very regal of you up there. Beautiful. Unfortunately, guys, I cannot go around to have another view of her and the cub because they are in a property we do not traverse with called Hofmann's, and she seems to be spending a lot of time in between Hofmann's and Djuma, going up and down the main road. But at least she's been wonderful enough to choose of her from here. There we go, looking for the cub. Naughty cub, not paying attention to mom. Sure she can smell it. I think it's just on the other side of the mountain.